Today's final episode of Basic Life Motivation series. I'm so happy. I really hope and pray that this series was helpful to everyone who stumbled upon it. Even if a single person was benefited by this series, I would feel my effort was really worth it. Today's topic, it's based on a fear that we all face, fear of judgment or fear of criticism. This topic would be incomplete without mention of the story of Liz Gilbert, author of Eat, Pray and Love. Elizabeth Gilbert, the best-selling author of Eat, Pray and Love, once shared that before her breakthrough success, she faced years of rejection and criticism as a writer. She had sent short stories to magazines, publishers, and journals, and kept receiving rejection letters after rejection letter. At one point, the fear of judgment became so intense that she began to question her worth. She asked herself, what if I'm not good enough? What if they are right about me? But here's what changed her life. She realized that her love for writing was greater than her fear of not being approved. She made a vow. No matter how many times I get rejected, I'll keep writing. I will not let fear have the final say in my life. Eventually, she did get published. And then, Eat, Pray, Love happened. It became a global bestseller, translated into dozens of languages, and changed millions of lives. But guess what? Even after that massive success, she was still judged and criticized by some for being too emotional or too indulgent or too privileged. But by then, she had learned this powerful truth. Living true to yourself will always invite some judgments, but not living true invites regret. So the moral of the story is very clear. Had Liz waited for the world's approval, she would have never written the book that transformed her own life and the lives of the millions. Her story is proof that the fear of judgment may never go away entirely, but your courage can grow stronger. Join me as I prepare you to face your biggest fears heads on and try to overcome the fear of judgment and criticism today. Welcome to the channel Elevate with Shachi Seth. Hi, I am Shachi Seth, writer, entrepreneur, life coach, and your dear friend. We're talking about fears. We are all familiar with that nagging voice in our heads, the one that tells us we're not good enough, that others will judge us, or that we'll face criticism for our choices. This fear can be paralyzing, holding us back from living the life in our own terms. It's time to confront it head on. Fear of judgment can impact our personal and professional growth in profound ways. When we are constantly worried about what others think, we start to play it safe, avoiding risk and new experiences. This can lead to missed opportunities and a life that's more predictable but less fulfilling. Imagine all the chances you might have taken, the connections you would have made, and the experiences you might have had if you weren't held back by fear. In our professional lives, this fear can stifle creativity and innovation. When we are afraid to share our ideas or try new approaches, we not only limit our own potential, but also that of our teams and organizations. Think about times when you had an idea but were too afraid to share it, or when you had seen colleagues hesitate to speak up because they feared being judged. The impact on our personal lives can be just as significant. Fear of judgment can prevent us from pursuing our passions, making meaningful connections, or even just being ourselves. It's like living in a constant state of performance, where we are always trying to impress others rather than being true to who we are. This fear can lead to a sense of disconnection and loneliness. When we are hiding behind a mask of what we think others want us to be, we can't form genuine relationships or find people who truly understand and support us. Social media also exacerbates this fear, presenting curated highlight reels of others' lives and making us feel that we don't measure up. Past experiences, such as being criticized or bullied or ridiculed, can also contribute to this fear, making us wary of putting ourselves out there again. Sometimes it's a specific incident or a comment that sticks with us, fueling our fear of judgment. Other times, it's a gradual buildup of our negative self talk and self doubt. Understanding where this fear comes from is crucial to overcoming it. The good news is that there is a way to overcome this fear. One powerful technique is to practice self-compassion and reframe your negative thoughts. Instead of beating ourselves up over perceived judgments, we can learn to be kinder and more understanding. By changing our internal dialogue, we can begin to see that most people are too busy worrying about their own lives to pay much attention to ours. When we do face criticism or judgment, we can view it as an opportunity to learn and grow rather than as a personal attack. This shift in perspective can be incredibly freeing. It allows us to take risks, share our ideas, and pursue our passions without being held back by fear. I have curated a few strategies that would guide you to live your life in a way that involves embracing your imperfections and believing that we are worthy of love and belonging. Let's get started. We can start with this simple thing. Release yourself from the invisible prison of fear. Have you ever stopped yourself from saying what you truly felt? Posting something online or following a dream just because you were scared of what people might think? That's the invisible prison most of us live in, the fear of judgment. But what if I told you that the key to that freedom isn't in changing what people think of you, but in changing how much you care about it? 2. Develop the courage to be disliked. It's okay people don't like us. One of the most powerful reality of life is that every person has their own tasks in life. And worrying about how someone perceives you is not your task, it's theirs. You cannot control how others see you. You can only control your own actions, your choices, your intentions. True freedom begins when you stop trying to please everyone. The moment you accept that some people will dislike you no matter what you do, you reclaim your power. So ask yourself, am I being useful? Am I being true to myself? Not do they like me? When your focus shifts from approval to authenticity, judgment loses its grip on you. Imperfection is acceptable. We crave for perfection, but perfectionism is just fear wearing a mask. Fear of not being good enough, fear of criticism. The cure isn't to become flawless, it's to embrace your flaws. Authentic people don't chase approval, they show up as they are, imperfection and all. When you stop hiding behind your fears and start embracing vulnerability, people connect to your realness, not your perfection. Remember, the more you love yourself as you are, the less anyone's opinion can shake you. Feel the fear and do it anyway. The thing about fear is that it never completely disappears. Courage simply means taking actions despite it. So next time you hesitate because of judgment, ask yourself, what's the worst case scenario that can happen? You will realize that most fears are exaggerations of your mind. And even if someone judges you, so what? Their opinion can't define your worth unless you allow it to. The more you act in spite of fear, the smaller the fear becomes. So every step you take despite of your fear builds your inner confidence. Do it anyway. This is the daring part. Dare greatly. You must have played truth or dare sometime or other. You need to try to be dare. Vulnerability isn't weakness. It's strength in action. When you dare to be seen, even when you're scared, you inspire others to do the same. People who truly matter don't judge your courage. They admire it. The ones who criticize you often project their own insecurities. So instead of shrinking yourself, show up boldly. Either walk inside your story and own it, or you stand outside it, always trying to earn approval. Learn the subtle art of not caring what others say. Mark mentions the subtle art of not giving a fuck is a master class in emotional freedom. He says, we have a limited period of time, so use it wisely. Stop wasting them on opinions that don't serve your growth. You don't need everyone's approval to live meaningfully. What matters is being aligned with your values, your goals, and your peace of mind. When you stop needing validation, criticism starts losing its sting. Remember, the goal isn't to be liked, it's to live truthfully and meaningfully. The important point, accept that judgment is inevitable. Here's the truth. Every person who has ever achieved something meaningful faced judgment. People will talk whether you rise or you stay silent. So why not rise? When you start focusing on what you can control, that is your thoughts, your efforts, your attitude, and release what you can't, others' opinions, you step into true confidence. Judgment is temporary, but regret lasts forever. So choose courage over comfort. I have a practice for you. Practice daily confidence habits. To practice this daily, remind yourself that others' reactions are not your responsibility. Keep a small journal where you note down moments when you felt judged and reframe them. From I did something wrong to I dared to be seen. Surround yourself with people who encourage authenticity, not perfection. Practice self compassion. Speak to yourself kindly, the way you'd comfort a friend. Celebrate your small acts of courage because each time you choose authenticity over approval, you strengthen your inner power. We all need to learn the real meaning of courage. The real courage isn't in being perfect, it's in being real. You don't need to be fearless. You just need to brave enough to act anyway. The moment you stop living for approval, you start living for purpose. So don't fear being disliked. Fear never living your truth. Because when you dare to be authentic, that's when you truly become unstoppable. We don't need to be perfect to live a beautiful and meaningful life. When we embrace who we really are, with all our flaws and fears, we begin to live more fully, more deeply, and connect more genuinely. It's a journey of learning to say, I am enough. Let's do a quick short recap. Fear of judgment and criticism can hold us back in many areas of our lives. But by understanding its sources and using techniques like self compassion and reframing, we can begin to overcome it. If you're ready to take control and live a more authentic life, I encourage you to share your experiences with fear of judgment or criticism in the comments below. Your stories can inspire and support others who are in a similar journey. Also be sure to check my other video, hence subscribe to my channel. If you enjoyed watching this one, hit the thumbs up icon. Remember the bell icon for notifications. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. God bless.